Okay, good morning string project. Welcome to this week's technique video. Part 1 is going to be number 94 string builder thoughts of you, namely the second line. And part 2, a little bit shorter, is going to be Long Long Ago from Suzuki. Let's jump right into it. Number 94 in string builder, I want you to follow along with your music as I play it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, a few things to note before we really get into the nitty-gritty. Look at line 1, the final measure. You have the half note B and then the 2 train tracks. That just means take a very brief pause. So if I play the final phrase there, ooh, whoopsies. Train tracks, rest, then begin again, like so. Finally, measures 1, 2, 5, and 6, they're dotted half notes, and that means you have to count. You can't get away with not counting. Even though they're long notes, you have to keep thinking in your head. Okay, long notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In general, it's going to be one bow per measure. If it's not a long note, it's going to be slurred. I'll play the first few measures to see that. Watch how my bow is supposed to be very smooth and very luscious here. Very smooth bow. So when you go and practice that, make sure that your wrist is leading. Your right hand has to be super flexible here. If it's choppy, it's not going to work. None of that. Very nice and flexible. Anyway, second line, we have a lot of slurs in a row. Look at the third measure of line 2, the fourth, fifth, sixth measure. It's all slurs. Down, up, down, up, down. I'll go right from line 2, a bit slower this time, and just listen first. Line 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just as a little quick thing, the third measure from the end, you're going to play open E. This is a viola, so there's no open E on this. But when you see me play fourth finger, just go to your open string. You're going to be open, D, E, D, open, not 4. You can play 4 if you want, but I have no option. Anyway, the first few measures of line 2 prime your bow stroke. They want you to do super full bow here, right? Look at just the first 2 measures. If you're not using the whole bow in those first 2 measures, go in front of a mirror or a camera, start at the frog, and go to the tip, go to the frog, tip, frog, tip. Watch again. And then continue that into the whole phrase. So watch how I'm using the whole bow here. And finally, that last G, it's a dotted half tied to a quarter. So save just a little bit, right? Off. When you finish the phrase, just put your bow into the air a little bit, nothing crazy, just a little bit off the string, like so, and off. You can even try it again a few times. Great. So keeping that in mind, flexible wrist, whole bow. I'm going to play it one more time, and I want you to listen. And watch, of course. I'm out of tune today. Here we go. 1, 2. Yeah, nice. I'll play it a bit slower this time if you want to play along. We'll go pretty slow. We'll do 1 and 2 and 3 and very slow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Train tracks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, even slowly, we want to be using the whole bow. Last little comment, I know that it's slow here. Make sure that you're playing C naturals. We're in G major, so at the end, you will play an F sharp, but you'll play C natural, low 2 on an A string. Look at measure 4, right? You've got D, C, A. It's D, C natural, A. It's not C sharp. It's C natural. Make sure that there's space there. And finally, I'll play through it just once more to round it out, a tempo, maybe even a bit faster. And we're still going to think about flexible wrist, good bow stroke, good posture. I should do better posture. I should be a better role model for this, right? Good posture. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And let's move on to number 8, Long Ago. In your Suzuki book, while you're getting that out, I'll play that for you really quickly. Note that because I don't have an E string, I'm going to be playing a fifth lower than you, but the idea is still the same. Here's Long Ago. Listen first and follow along with your music. So this one is a bit longer, but there's a lot of repeating material. Lines 1, 2, and 4 are very similar. They all open up with this rising scale pattern. Right? This piece is nothing more than just a major scale played not in order, right? Line 3 is going to be the hardest line. You're gonna have to string cross by keeping certain fingers down. So if you look, there's at line 3, measure 1. You have on the fourth beat, you have a 1 and then a line. That means that you keep your first finger held down. So I'll play the third line and watch how this finger right here is being held down. Not a great camera angle. I'll try it again. I'll go on my tippy toes this time. This finger's going to be held down the whole time. When I go to the string crossing, the idea of these kinds of string crossings being that your left hand stays the same while your right hand moves. I'm going to try to demonstrate that one more time. Line 3. If you lift your finger, you might hit the open string by accident. It might sound like this. We don't want that. Don't lift too early. Only lift your finger once you've come off the string. So I've got sol, fa, mi, re, sol, sol, fa. And only when I play the top note do I take my first finger off. One of the other important things in this piece is the dynamics. You have these crescendos and decrescendos. Actually, it's only decrescendos. The decrescendos can happen over a few bars. So look at measures 3, measures 4, measure 7, measure 8, measure 15, measure 16. As the scales go down, you have a decrescendo. Look at measure 3. To get softer, we have less bow speed, less bow weight, and we can actually change our point of contact. Those are the 3 basic dynamic things we do. Bow speed, typically when the bow moves faster, you get louder. Bow pressure, bow weight. I can use my pointer finger here to kind of like, if you can see from here, I can kind of press into the string like this. And then contact point. Where is my bow on the instrument, and a little more advanced being what's my hair placement. That's a little more advanced though. So I'm going to play it one more time, and you can play along, and we're going to try to observe the dynamics to extreme effect, meaning that if there's a dynamic change, we're going to really do it. If it says mezzo piano, we're going to really get piano. And if it says forte, we're going to get really forte. And that's just to get used to doing those kinds of things. So let's do it. A lot of words. Let's do a lot of dynamics here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so dynamics are a really important musical tool. If you want, we can even take that a step further so we can get even softer and even louder. So if I start really loud, then I get really soft when the decrescendos happen. Obviously that's very extreme, but that's just a way to get you started on that. One final thing is that there are no slurs in this piece as compared to number 94 in String Builder, but we still want to have a smooth-ish bow. I was kind of playing it the wrong way. It's not that separate. It's more separate than Thoughts of You, but it can still be pretty smooth here. General rule of thumb is that the bow should always be moving, even when you're changing your bow stroke, going up to down or down to up. You don't need to slow down that much. If you slow down too much, it's going to get pretty choppy. We're having more of a singing feel. We should be able to play it as if somebody is singing it, for example. Cantabile, singing style. That was not in tune. That's really it for today. Basic things being in number 94, make sure during the slurs you have that whole bow, right? We're going from frog to tip to frog. And in Long, Long Ago, we have those string crossings. Make sure that those are pretty clear. They're pretty hard to get the first time. You can practice that if you want. Put your first finger down on the low string and your third finger down on the higher string. See if you can't string cross without moving your left hand. That's tough stuff though. That's basically it. So happy practicing, and I'll see you on Saturday.